Let's watch this video. Respect.
Venezuela is currently experiencing its most severe political and security rupture in decades. As of January 3rd, 2026, the country has entered a phase of extreme instability following direct military intervention and the sudden removal of its sitting president from power. The immediate trigger was Operation Southern Spear, a United States-led military operation launched in the early hours of January 3rd. The operation involved coordinated airstrikes against military and civilian installations in Caracas and other strategic regions, followed by a ground deployment of U.S. Special Forces. According to official statements, U.S. Delta Force units captured President Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, and transported them out of Venezuela to face criminal charges in the United States. This action represents a rare instance of a foreign power forcibly removing the head of state of a sovereign nation through direct military action. Following the operation, Venezuela's remaining executive authority, led by Vice President Delcy Rodriguez, declared a nationwide state of emergency. The government characterized the intervention as external aggression and ordered full military mobilization, placing armed units on alert across the country. This response has created a high-risk environment marked by uncertain command authority. With the president removed, decision-making power within the military and security services is fragmented, increasing the likelihood of localized confrontations, breakdowns in discipline, and competition for control of key infrastructure. The current crisis did not emerge suddenly. Its structural roots trace back to the July 2024 presidential election, which produced contested results. Opposition leaders Edmundo Gonzalez and Maria Corina Machado released detailed tally sheets indicating a decisive victory. Maduro declared himself the winner without publishing disaggregated results or permitting independent verification. Following the election, the government initiated Operation Tun Tun, a systematic campaign involving mass arrests, surveillance, and suppression of opposition networks. This operation reduced visible dissent, but accelerated political polarization and triggered sustained international condemnation. These political developments unfolded against a prolonged economic and humanitarian collapse. Although Venezuela's hyperinflation eased from its peak levels, the economy remained non-functional. Real wages failed to recover, access to food and medicine remained limited, and public services continued to degrade. Over 7.7 million Venezuelans emigrated during this period, creating significant demographic and institutional strain. Those who remained faced chronic power outages, a severely weakened healthcare system, and infrastructure incapable of meeting basic population needs. International pressure escalated throughout late 2025. The United States implemented a naval blockade targeting Venezuelan oil shipments and maritime routes associated with narcotics trafficking. These actions restricted the regime's revenue streams and limited its logistical flexibility. In parallel, Washington formally designated the Maduro government as a foreign terrorist organization. This designation altered the legal environment governing U.S. engagement and enabled the use of military force under counter-terrorism frameworks. Operation Southern Spear followed this escalation. Its design suggests a targeted objective: removal of senior leadership rather than broad territorial occupation or economic destruction. Energy infrastructure was largely preserved, indicating intent to avoid total systemic collapse while neutralizing command authority. The removal of Maduro has immediate regional implications. Governments across Latin America are reassessing security assumptions, alliance structures, and exposure to external intervention. The event establishes a precedent that alters risk calculations for regimes facing prolonged internal instability. The outcome within Venezuela now depends on control of four critical domains: military command cohesion, control of communications infrastructure, administration of borders and ports, and management of energy and financial systems. Failure in any of these areas increases the probability of internal conflict. This development also reshapes the international narrative around intervention. Supporters of the operation interpret it as decisive enforcement following years of diplomatic failure. Critics view it as normalization of regime removal through force. Both interpretations will influence future policy decisions beyond Venezuela. The situation also provides a comparative lens for evaluating other states experiencing prolonged insecurity without decisive internal response. Nigeria is a relevant example. Nigeria has faced sustained violence involving terrorism, mass killings, religious persecution, and large-scale displacement. These patterns are well documented and persistent. Unlike Venezuela, however, Nigeria's deterioration has occurred despite limited and episodic external military intervention and in the absence of sustained internal corrective action. Recent U.S. military strikes targeting terrorist camps in Nigeria have resulted in the destruction of several militant strongholds. These actions demonstrate that external actors recognize the severity of the threats. However, they remain isolated interventions rather than part of a comprehensive stabilization framework.